Welcome to the Connor Cherland podcast, where I, Connor Cherland, meet up with a musician, ask them to play some songs, hear their backstory, hear about what inspires those songs. Today we have Ben Higginbotham, also known as one half of the band called Cypress, and we're going to talk about things like being in wedding bands. We're going to talk about what makes a song a success and generally what inspires us. So I hope you really enjoy. I think this guy is an incredibly talented vocalist, songwriter, guitar player, piano player. We met quite a while back in LA at a gig, I think at the Hotel Cafe, and we've been friends ever since. Great guy. Please enjoy.
Dope. So I know, like, obviously you and I have talked prior to this because,
Yes.
I asked you a bunch of questions on my Instagram Live like a year ago.
Yeah, super fun.
And then since then, you and I have, you've helped me out tremendously with a song because I have issues with bridges.
Oh, dude,
And
me too.
It's
so funny that you asked me to come write that bridge with you, because I do the same thing to my friend Emily all the time. I'm like, I wrote this song, but it doesn't have a bridge.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know if it's a thing. Do songwriters just have bridge people?
Well, it'd be kind of smart to have someone else write a bridge because it's supposed to be like this real big breakup of the material. So I feel like it makes sense to have someone else do it.
Going on.
So I might ask some questions that are repetitive, and I apologize, but
it's okay. I probably could give you a better answer now.
Yeah, for people like my mom, who it will be their first time hearing about you. This is Ben Higginbotham, and your band is Cypress.
Yes.
Why'd you pick Cypress?
Why did I pick Cypress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when Cypress Hill was already a thing. You're already going against a real giant there.
That's true. I know. Well, we're in such different ballparks, you know? I was like,
Yeah.
Those guys, they'd be cool
Yeah.
with this. I picked I have spent some time trying to think of a cool, like, made-up story about it, but I
You should
I really
make up
don't
an
have
acronym.
An acronym?
Yeah.
Like what Cypress stands for?
Yeah.
I should. The true story of how I came to Cypress was when I was born and when my brother was born. We're just two brothers. My parents planted in our yard a magnolia tree, one for each of us when we were born. So every time I go back home, there's this tree that's exactly as old as I am. And I always thought that was really cool. When I decided to ditch Higginbotham and have a band name, I just was thinking about that a lot. But then I thought magnolia I don't know if it's whack, but it sounded kind of feminine, and I don't feel like my music carries that. I don't feel like I don't know. It didn't feel like it fit me quite. And it was also like a big design company in Texas. Do you know Magnolia from like Chip and Joanna?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, it just didn't really feel right. And so then we were just thinking about trees, and my friend Alan suggested a cypress tree, and I was like, that sounds kind of cool.
That's a fine story to tell people. If you have a
So
if
we landed on just a
tree
different
for you.
tree. Yeah. I always thought it would be, maybe I just feel like it would be cooler if the tree was a cypress tree.
I mean, kinda, but also like that would be kind of unrealistic. Like, how much is it older brother?
Younger brother.
Younger brother. How what's like the age difference?
He's just under 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
So we were 2 grades apart.
Did they plant the tree like exactly in the middle of you guys, or was it like planted when you were born and then they were like, oh yeah, this also applies to the other brother?
Yeah, there's 2 trees.
Oh, there's two
trees. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on either side we got a driveway up to our backyard.
Cool.
In Texas, and there's one on either side of the driveway.
That's awesome. It'd be really funny if they planted a third tree and then just like never really brought it up to you. Just like
there was a tree that was like 10 months older than my tree.
Yeah. And they're just like, oh yeah. Well, I mean, don't worry about that.
I've got a brother I've never met.
Yeah. Okay, so Cypress was born, as were you and your brother, and these trees were planted. And you're from Dallas, right?
Yes, I'm from Dallas, Texas.
You moved to Nashville for a bit.
I moved to here. I'll give you the story.
Yeah.
I'm from Dallas, Texas. Lived in the same house for 18 years. Never moved, and then I went to Boston for college at Berklee College of Music. For 4 years. Did the whole 4 years there. I spent most summers there. My first summer I spent in New York City, just on a whim, and then all the other summers I spent in Boston in a wedding band.
Cool.
I was in a wedding band for several years, and then I stayed in Boston a couple years after that. And then I moved to LA, which is where we met last fall, and then, or not even last fall. Oh my God, 2020 just blew by. 2 falls ago, I guess.
Yeah.
So 2019, and then we met at a songwriters round, and then the world came crashing down.
Right.
That's kind of my moving story up to that point.
First off, what was the name of your wedding band?
We were called Click with a Q. Wedding. This is a whole rabbit hole we could go down. But
I also do wedding band stuff, so please feel free to go down the rabbit hole. Like, how many people were in the band? What was the setup?
Have you done band stuff, or is it mostly? Yeah. I've seen you post pictures of like solo stuff a lot.
I mean, it's more profitable to do solo stuff.
Yeah, it is.
So that's why you see that the most, because I'm trying to, just make a living right now. But when when I have more affluent times, or when there's more, weddings, there's more money on the table. So like hiring a band makes more sense. But a lot of the stuff I do is solo. But yeah, tell me. So Click, how many guys were in Click?
Click. So we started this band from scratch. My now friend Colin Jarrow started this wedding band like before. I think it was probably my senior year of high school. He was in Berklee and started a wedding band. And anyways, they kind of grew themselves, and he decided to start a second wedding band to like kind of just manage, and so he was starting this band from scratch. And a friend of mine that was in the band reached out, and I auditioned on keyboard. And then and at that point, the band, for the whole first year, we had a name change to Click. Our original name, Love Sounds.
Love Sounds.
Love Sounds.
Pretty straightforward, huh? Might as well be called Wedding Band.
Yeah, we used to call ourselves Sex Noises.
Sex Noises.
We were called Love Sounds. We were like, that. How much worse could it have gone?
That's fair.
Yeah, Love Sounds for a year. I just played keyboard, and then our singer left, my good friend Max Brandenburg, who's also an LA songwriter.
Okay.
Great songwriter. Left, and then I stepped in singing, and then we changed it to Click, and then it was initially like a 5-piece, and then we grew to like 7 or 8. I forget.
Cool. How many weddings? Like per month kind of a thing?
Every year it got a little more. Our first year we had like 8 weddings.
Cool.
Because we were a brand new band, and then the last year I was in it, I think we had like, I don't know, almost 30 or something.
Wow. And that was just in the summer?
Yeah, in the summer. I mean, there's like, you got your fringe weddings in the fall.
Sure. That's crazy.
Stuff. But we would play clubs every weekend too. We'd play bars. Okay. Anytime we weren't doing weddings, we were at, some trashy bar in Boston playing the hits,
Yeah.
So like every weekend basically for like 5 years I was playing with this band doing rock and roll and pop and covers and stuff. It was really fun. It was actually how I basically learned how to play guitar, because I knew like a couple chords, but after a while of just singing, I got bored, and I was like, I want to, do something with my hands, and so I started playing like one song every night.
Yeah.
And I would at first it was My Own Worst Enemy by Lit, the band Lit.
No.
It's a classic pop punk, like. Anyways, the whole guitar riff is like dun 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 dun, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I could learn that. So for like a month, I would just bring my guitar to the gigs and play only that one song on guitar, and then it would, awesome. Became 2 songs and 3 songs. I started practicing and stuff. And by no means like a lead guitar player now, but I definitely got to like it was a whole. I learned so much in the wedding band.
Yeah. That's
singing
amazing.
and playing.
Is there a wedding song that you still like really dig, or are all of them kind of ruined for you?
I thought they would all be ruined, but I actually love them all more.
Okay, good.
No, it's like a weird. I don't really know. It's hard to describe. They're so great, Like all of these songs are so good.
Yeah.
That that people want them on the happiest day of their life, but we've heard them so many times that we all hate them.
Right.
But they're so good.
Yeah. Tell me one. I'm always looking to expand my wedding playlist, so go for it.
Oh gosh, it's hard to pick just one.
Because it's not always like the best song. Sometimes it has to do with the beat of like the like danceable beat of like so like everything kind of like sticks to 100 beats per minute kind of a thing.
Yes, I love so many of these wedding songs, but a classic ender for us, we would do Mr. Brightside at the end of every night.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. I think it's the best song. I think it's of all the songs, it might be the best one.
Which is crazy because it's just the same verse, pre-chorus, chorus, just twice.
It's a verse, pre-chorus, chorus twice. It's one note for most of it.
Yeah.
And then there's that like impossibly hard guitar riff that doesn't sound hard, but it's so hard. With the your fingers look like a.
Oh no! You're talking about the.
I'm talking about the intro riff.
The beginning. Yeah.
That whole part. So difficult.
Which you have to just stay on forever. It doesn't. Yeah. It never ends.
I think though, so that's a really good one. It's a weird song that I feel like maybe I thought I would hate, but I actually is like a super secret love of mine is Man, I Feel Like a Woman.
Oh.
By Shania Twain.
Yeah.
Do you know that song?
Yeah. But was that's not like the danciest beat though? Like,
oh, I mean, it is though.
Being a woman.
Yeah.
But that's more of like a swaying song, or do people really get down to it?
It's a screaming song. People
really?
Scream it. Maybe, I mean, it's different for different regions too.
Sure.
I've learned, and most of my wedding band work has been in Massachusetts and the Northeast and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a little different around there, but the dudes, the broiest dudes in the crowd will scream that song.
That's amazing.
And I love it. It's so good. It's so good. And there's like random key changes. Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is these like easy sounding like kind of pop songs that you think are so simplistic like, oh, maybe they're pandering, or maybe they're just written just to be a hit, and you're like, oh, well, that doesn't, the song isn't deep, or the song whatever. They're actually like, a lot of them are so complex and like kind of sophisticated in ways that you just don't think about until you have to perform them, and you're like, oh, damn, like this is something.
Just when I'm thinking about the chorus of that song, it's like like it's doing a lot. But like, are there other parts that, I mean, you said there was a key change?
Yeah, the chorus is in a different key than the verse.
Oh geez.
Yeah. And then you've got the whole like solo, the guitar solo, and it's got like a weird amount of bars in the chorus.
Okay.
Like to the end of it. And then she just says, man, I feel like a woman. She goes from like kind of like speaking seamlessly right back into singing. She's like, man, I feel like a woman. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Anyways, I know this is kind of embarrassing for me, but I love that song.
No, I mean, it's a very famous song. I feel like no shame.
I'm tired of skipping the famous stuff because I grew up very anti-pop, anything kind of like anti-celebrity. Like I wasn't into anything like that. And then like I took a long road trip. Actually, the different road trip. When I moved out to LA initially, me and my girlfriend Elissa drove, and we were gonna drive near the Grand Canyon, and she was like, "We should see the Grand Canyon." And my body's reaction was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna go see the Grand Canyon." Like, everyone goes to see the Grand Canyon, but it's because it's amazing.
Yeah,
that's why. And so I had to check myself and be like, "No, Ben, go see the Grand Canyon."
Yeah,
there's a reason these things are cliche or are hits.
Yeah.
That being said, there's a lot of dumb hits on the radio too.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, like, that song still plays today.
Yeah.
Even though, which is the difference I feel like between, like, there's plenty of pop that plays today that like we're not ever gonna revisit in the future. But like, some stuff we will, and that's like that's how you know when something has become timeless. When you're just like, there's a lot of Linkin Park songs that I skip, and there's a lot that I have on repeat.
Yeah.
to this day because they're Slayers.
The like songs you come back to 35 years later.
Yeah.
You're like, this is still a banger.
Yeah, we said as late 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
35 years later, and here I am, still listening to Britney Spears. And like as a musician during COVID, like what have your days been looking like? Like I've been struggling with the identity of a musician while not doing many public gigs. So like what does your day look like? And
I've had a surprisingly delightful quarantine.
cool.
I'm just now starting to get tired of it.
Sure. Yeah.
I actually loved the first like couple months. I just hadn't been able to establish any kind of routine for myself in a long time, like singing at weddings and super late and all that stuff. So having 2 or 3 months of like nothing going on.
Yeah.
I was able to finally like have a morning, get a morning going on and sit down at my computer at like 10 or whatever and try to get some stuff done,
Yeah.
I started, I'd like wake up and have breakfast and do a little workout and try to, practice a certain amount of time every day. So I've really enjoyed that part of it.
What do you do to practice in the morning?
What do I do to practice?
Yeah.
I'll practice guitar. I'll practice scales.
Like you're just practicing guitar scales?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Scales, and I've been transcribing things like little short little. I've been setting super achievable practice goals for myself, like short solos. Like I learned a solo from a Bob Marley song.
Cool.
The other day, and just little things like that. Because I grew up playing piano. I don't know if you know this even. Because, but yeah, I grew up playing piano, and guitar was kind of a later thing for me. But now all of my music is so guitar based that I feel it would be best for me to like become as good at guitar as I can. And so I've been trying to like learn different solos and things like that to improve myself. So I've been practicing a lot of guitar like that, and you forget to practice the stuff that you already kind of know kind of well. So like I've been trying to practice piano lately. I didn't do this for most of the quarantine, but I've been practicing piano, like just running over scales and stuff. It just very basic. I feel like the best stuff to practice is you need fundamentals,
Right.
And so I've been doing that and warming up my voice every day. I've been trying to do that. I forgot to do that.
Yeah.
For like years.
What do you do for warm ups right now?
I do like a low to high and a low.
Just
it's
like a slide.
Yeah, like a slide, like a little siren slide. Where you go like start wherever it's comfortably lowest and then slide up. And then I try to do a smooth transition from
chest to head voice,
and then back down, the same thing. And then
you have a really smooth falsetto. Can I just quickly hear you do a quick slide up? Just so I can see. I feel like I feel like you will have a very good transition, but I'm curious just to see what
it's worse on the way down.
Yeah.
And it's worse the higher I try to do it. I try to do a good one.
I'm putting you on the spot. I want it.
I don't even like doing this like in front of my girlfriend. I'm like, but here, I'll do it in front of the whole world.
Yeah, the whole world. Mostly my mom.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Very serious.
Mm-hmm.
I do it on an ah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's an alright one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just did that. But yeah, I do that, and also my friend Elliot just warms up this way, and I always thought it was good once he showed me, was just like a hum, but you like open your mouth a lot with closing the lips, and you do like a fifth just kind of in a low register, and it just vibrates your whole chords, and it just feels really good.
Interesting. So like
yeah, and then back down
like that.
Yeah, just doing that. You move around a little bit, but never getting too high with it.
Wait, did you say like you open your lips?
No, you keep your lips closed, but you open your whole like space inside.
Oh, so your teeth aren't touching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that.
Like you're holding a bunch of stuff in your mouth.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I wonder if this is interesting to anyone.
I mean, in general, like, yeah, like I said, like one of the things I'm struggling with is like how to, like, I'm so harsh with myself. I'm like pretty nice to other people sometimes, but like when it comes to myself, I'm like pretty harsh. So I'll like wake up in the morning, I'm like, you're not a musician, dude. Like, you can write all the songs you want, but in the end of the day, you're singing them for yourself in your home. What's the point? And it's
What's the point?
But to be fair, we're like, when you're doing all these things, you're keeping the craft alive, and you're continuing to get better at your tool. So, and that's what a musician is and does at the end of the day. Like regardless of outcome, they're like continuing to get better and like move forward the craft, which again, intellectually I can say, but my heart is like, you're a fake, dude.
I know.
And I'm like, I know.
I feel that way every time I write a song and don't release it. I'm always like, well, this is just gonna fall into the forgotten vault, and like you just wasted a day writing a song, you know.
Yeah,
that's my like devil voice talking to me.
Yeah. What do you think your percentages are? Like, I feel like my odds of writing a good song are between 1 in 4 and 1 in 5. Like, where do you feel like you stand on that percentage?
Where do I stand on that percentage? I've got maybe 3 categories: a good song, a bad song, and a song that's good but doesn't make any sense.
What would that one mean? Just like it has cool parts, but there's no cohesion whatsoever?
Yeah. Or I like the lyrics, but they don't mean a single thing. I've written several songs like that lately. I don't know what my odds are, but I'd say those are the 3 things I bounce between.
Is there a song that you've put out that you like don't really enjoy anymore? You
know, not really. There's a song. Yeah, I do feel good about that. I don't really feel like there's a production that maybe I would do differently at this point.
Sure.
Yeah. I think the song "Darling No," that's next to last on the EP. I think I would record that differently now.
Okay.
I think it misses. I always think it sounds so much better live than it does on the record.
Sure.
And that's never how I really want to feel. I want to feel like a song sounds really good differently live, but I feel like "Darling No" sounds like the same but better.
Yeah.
When it's live, you know?
Yeah.
And so I would, if I could change one thing I have out, I would re-record that. Yeah.
So like when I saw you live, the songs that I thought were the coolest were Canada and Take Me Back. But then when I looked on your Spotify, Still Blue was the one with the highest numbers. So like, and I don't even know if you played Still Blue that night.
I didn't.
But like, when you're thinking about a song's success, what makes you feel like it's a job well done at the end of the day?
Well, I guess if someone wants to put it on a playlist, I feel like I did a good job. I mean, that's the reason that Still Blue has all of those numbers, is because of Spotify playlists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Spotify put it on a playlist, and it's still on there. They've re-added it, which is super flattering. So it's still on there, so it still gets all kinds of plays. And that has definitely directed some people to my music, which I really, really greatly appreciate and everything. Yeah. And then, and so I guess, like, I don't know. It's really hard because I have definitely been thinking about that more. It's funny, like, you put a song out and then one of your songs gets some plays and you're like, oh, I need to do that again, or it doesn't feel right. Like, yeah. I had this, I feel really proud of Take Me Back and the production. Yeah. And
I feel really proud of Take Me Back. I didn't even do anything on it.
Well, thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
But I had this, like, looming feeling the whole time, like, for, like, the months after release, when it didn't get added to a Spotify playlist, or I didn't find a lot of success, like, or get a great reception from, like, individual playlisters and stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. When I had this, like, downer feeling about it, like, oh, I didn't do, you know, a good job or whatever. but then I listened to it and I think I did do a good job. I do
it's a
feel
great
proud
song.
of well, thank you. Thanks. Tell me more.
Yeah.
No, but I do feel proud of it, but it definitely like is weird. Like, I felt really had this like negative feeling of that it wasn't successful because it didn't have like crazy numbers or anything. But really it's actually more meaningful now. Like I think it's like 2,000 plays or something like that. But now I know like everyone who's listened to that song like really wanted to, the Spotify playlisters, they you put that thing on and forget about it, so like, but anyways, so I've been trying to really hard in my music to it's a struggle of like thinking about a song's success before you've finished the song will destroy you, will destroy the song and the whole vibe. I think I saw like I've followed Rick Rubin on Instagram and he only posts like quotes of himself about like it's actually incredible. He posts just text quotes that are his own quotes and they're all about the creative process and creativity, which is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. Like if one of my friends started that Instagram account, I'd be like, who do you think you are? But because it's Rick Rubin, I'm so down and I read them
because if it's
every
one
day.
of your friends, like their expertise is like just the same as your expertise and you're like, I don't care, why would we quote ourselves?
But Rick Rubin's quotes are incredible, and he had something that was like similar to what I just said. I think I said it because it was like internalized in my brain, but basically he said trying to worry about a song's success before it's finished will like lead you nowhere or will like destroy the song or something like that, he said. And I found that to be really true in my process of like I'll finish a song or something and be like, why doesn't this feel right? It's because my priorities weren't in the right place when I was making it. It doesn't come from a real place,
But that you're saying that Take Me Back does like you were in the right place when making that one.
Yeah.
Would you mind playing that one?
Playing that? Sure thing.
Enough teasing everyone about this mystery song.
So your mom listens to this podcast?
Yeah, dude. You want to give a shout out?
What's your mom's name?
Cherland.
Cherland?
Yeah, dude.
That's a beautiful name. I've never heard that name before. Cherland.
Oh, I agree. It's a beautiful name.
Hey, Cherland. All right, here's the song. This is Take Me Back.
Cool.
I left it on the sidewalk that day. I was running and it's not like I would have caught it anyway. I broke it on the ground and we can't go back now. We said it ran its course, but we both know it was me. Now all I really want is to go home, as far as I can get from this. Yeah, all I really want is to be there with my family and my friends, trying to forget about everything I ever said. Take me back to the start, before I broke your heart. Oh, 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 oh. I turned the corner and I stopped. Put my hands on my knees cause I knew what we'd lost. If I could change the past, I would do it right now. Oh, I promised that I wouldn't, but I let you down. Now all I really want is to go home, as far as I can get from this. Yeah, all I really want is to be there with my family and my friends, trying to forget about everything I ever said. Take me back to the start, before before I broke your heart. Oh, 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 before I broke your heart. Oh, 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 don't you take me back if I beg and plead. Don't you take me back if I'm on my knees. Now all I really want is to go home, as far as I can get from this. Yeah, all I really want is to be there with my family and my friends, trying to forget about everything I ever said. Take me back to the start, before I broke your heart. Oh, 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 before I broke your heart. Oh, 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 before I broke your heart.
So good.
Thank you, dude.
Your voice, like, live is exactly the same perfect pitch as the record. The like quality is like the exact same. It's like all of the little runs, like either the when you do, like when you flip into your falsetto, or like even trying to forget about everything I ever said. Like you're like the way that you step between those notes, like it's not like you're sliding between notes. It's like this perfect like little step.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's very specifically the same high quality every time, and I'm like, geez, that's it. Yeah, it sounds great.
That it must sound different coming out of my when out there than it does in my head, because I hear so many little different things.
You hear
Man.
every microliter of phlegm within your own throat.
Yeah, my throat feels really dry right now.
Sure.
I feel like I'm having coffee. I just went on a walk for like an hour before this.
Nice.
Because it was warm. It was warm today. I'm doing air quotes for
Yeah.
just audio. And it was 40 degrees.
Jeez. Where are you?
Yeah, but it's sunny. I'm in Cape Cod.
Oh yeah, still.
Yeah, I came out here after me and Elissa, my girlfriend, were in LA, as you know, and we decided it's ridiculous to keep paying rent.
Right.
If you are stuck inside, and so
Yeah.
we came out here. Her parents luckily have this little cottage on the coast of Massachusetts, and so we've been here since June of last year.
That's so fun.
Just holed up here, living with her sister.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we're having a great time.
That's awesome.
It's cool. It's very fortunate. I feel amazing and super lucky to like have been able to have a situation like this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I wish, hint, hint, if anybody else, has a little cabin they want to lend me for a week or two, you just let me know.
We got an air mattress,
yeah.
Pretty big one.
Heck
Bring
yeah,
your
dude.
wife.
All about
Bring
it.
your mom.
Non-COVID time, I'm totally down to come. As soon as COVID is over, my wife and I are going to have the travel bug for sure.
Yes, dude.
I imagine the world will. Like,
yeah, probably.
I imagine everyone is just like, cool, everyone's gonna house swap for like the next year. So
yeah, flights are gonna be booked. Have you not done any COVID traveling yet in the pandemic?
For our anniversary, it was our 4-year anniversary in November, so we went to Palm Springs.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so that was cool. Like, we went to this. This was a thing I always experienced this when I was young, where we would vacation in Lake Havasu, and all the people at the hotel were my parents' age, and then we would like go out to the sandbar where everyone's partying, and everyone was like older than me, but like in college or like late college, and then like even as I got older, like everyone still seemed older than me. It was just like anywhere I went, people just seemed older than me, and this was like the first vacation I went to where I was like, all these people look my age. I'm finally at a hotel, like, and it was like a nice hip hotel, and I'm like there for my 4-year anniversary, and I'm like, I'm finally at a place where like people my age are vacationing. It took me 28 years to ever find that. It felt so fun. I was like, this is like a party, but none of us are talking to each other. It's pretty chill.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so we went to they have like an outdoor, I think it's called the Living Desert Zoo, Living Desert Zoo, maybe?
Is it like one of those drive-through
No,
car
so
safaris?
so like all the animals that are on the property are indigenous to that environment. So even though they're not a part of like Palm Springs,
Oh, so
like,
it's a lazy zoo.
yeah. Well, they're
like, we found all these animals here.
So they use like a lot of the natural landscape to build out these giant enclosures. So like mountain goats, like this one specific mountain goat, they had like an actual like probably over 100-foot rock face mountain that was like probably already there, and then they like built out some other exhibits. They have like an actual savanna where giraffes can walk around with like these emus and like all these other animals, and it's just like, so it looks a lot less like a prison and more like and more just like, did you ever watch Last Airbender, Avatar Last Airbender?
I actually just finished it.
Okay, so remember when Aang, he's in Ba Sing Se, and he like makes that outdoor zoo for all those animals using earthbending?
Yeah. Is it kind of like that?
It's basically that, and it looks amazing, and the animals looked happier than they would be if they were in like actual cages.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the enclosures were giant, so it was a lot of fun. You're asking about the amount of travel I've done during COVID. Very little. Like, I did that, and then we spent Christmas with some friends in Oregon, but that was really it. So I've been like in this house a lot, like, kind of going bananas. But
That's
virtually
you should rent a Sprinter van. I had some friends that rented a couple that rented a Sprinter van. The guy that started the wedding band, Colin Jarvis, him and his girlfriend.
It sounds like you're saying Colin Jost of Saturday Night Live.
Colin Jost, yeah, my old buddy from Saturday Night Live, Colin Jost, also runs a Boston wedding band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love songs because he wasn't clever back then.
Yeah. Yeah, he's come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny now. He's married to Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. What is this guy's last name that you're saying?
Jaros.
Okay. Jaros. It sounds pretty similar.
Jaros. Yeah. But anyways, they just rented a Sprinter van and went up like the PCH all the way up California.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I could dig that.
Cool trip.
Yeah,
I went for 2 months. Me and it was kind of a trip out of necessity, from here to California and back.
Nice.
Last fall.
Cool.
And because me and Elis's lease was finally up, and so we had to go move our stuff out. Mm-hmm. We subleased to a friend of ours for the months we were gone, and and then we bought a pop-up camper.
Cool.
A used one, yeah, and fixed it up. Elissa and her sister, like, they painted. I mean, Elissa like painted everything that was inside and redid the flooring and made it super cute and Instagrammable. And I didn't Instagram it at all. Nice. And
yeah, you don't really Instagram much.
I'm not great at the gram. I'm not super active.
But Alyssa doesn't
on the gram
much either, though.
She doesn't either. We're not a very Instagram-y couple.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
like for like the music business? Do you like feel like do you just not care about that situation, or you're just like whatever?
I care about it, but I don't. Like I was kind of nervous about coming on the. Anytime I do any kind of interview sort of situation or where I have to be talking a lot, because
Yeah.
I'm not a huge talker. I'm not like a, you know, I'm not someone who could just bullshit their way through a night at a bar, you know, by themselves, and so anyway, so that kind of attitude of like not just constantly needing to share things, I'm really bad at it. I actually, that's one of my things of I guess you could say resolutions for this year was to be better and more consistently posting on social media and Instagram. And I know it doesn't look like much, but I've been pretty proud of myself. I posted like 3 times this year already.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I'm trying to post content regularly, you know, at least. I started a calendar for myself.
Cool.
Yeah, it's something that I care about, but it's not I just don't think it's not like an instinct for me, you know, to be like, oh, that needs to go up, or oh, I better take a picture of that, or
sure,
you know, I don't know. It's the same way when I went to college, my parents were like, send pictures, and I just never took pictures. They were like, are you alive? I was like, if you trust, you hear my voice. You can hear my voice.
I'm alive. I'm doing normal
Speaking.
things. Okay, quick side note, and then I'm going to ask you a bunch of other questions. Do you ever get any celebrity lookalikes? Have I already asked you this question?
I don't think
okay,
so.
Do you have any celebrity lookalikes that you ever get?
I swear to God, I'm not trying to flatter myself, but I get Thor all the time.
Oh, Thor. That was a
Thor. I get Thor a lot.
Well,
just because I have long hair.
Yeah, long
blonde hair.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, and the beard. Also, I'm super ripped.
Yeah, so
I'm not.
I don't know if you can tell by these shoulders, but
yeah, I've got little shoulders.
Yeah,
I feel
well, that
pretty
was the
proudly.
Joke.
Because I've been working. I've worked out like 20 minutes every day since March, almost, and I've started to realize like I'm like kind of in shape now, but I'm not like ripped or anything, but I'm like kind of in shape. But I've realized my shoulders are just thin, so like no matter how muscly I ever got, I will always
the
not
width
look
is
intimidating.
not gonna change.
I will never be intimidating. Yeah.
Just this really trim, like you'll look like do you remember in Step Brothers where he like pulls up his abs and he's like, I haven't had a carb since 2003.
Oh yeah.
That's what it'll be like. Did you ever used to watch Zoe 101?
I didn't have cable until I was like 16, so I missed out on a lot of those shows. But I've heard of it.
Some of the younger pictures of you, like before you had a beard and when your hair was like.
You're gonna say I look like Zoe?
No, when your hair was kind of to like eyebrow length. She had a little brother with like that same kind of look. He was like super short in the show, but like you before you grew out your beard. And like in some of those like very early, this was when you were still like leading songs on keyboard kind of a thing. Yeah. Like, these are just like random videos I've seen of you on YouTube.
Funny. Oh like, God, yeah.
Going back
I need to go clean up my internet presence.
Yeah,
I've got some deep cuts online.
It's already pretty clean. I went to like this. I had to go to this other person's website to like read about you because your
really?
Website, yeah. But some quick fire questions. Here we go. Bad advice from people in the music industry. Do you have any?
Bad advice from people in the music industry?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have. I don't ask people for advice very often, so I don't get a lot of.
People just give you advice? I feel like.
Oh, all the time. It's not. I guess I don't know if it's advice, but I get told to. You should go on American Idol. You should go on The Voice. Every wedding I've ever played.
Sure.
Every bar I've ever sang at, someone has suggested that I go on The Voice.
Yeah.
Bad advice.
Okay. Why?
I just feel like those shows like tie you down. They're like hugely contractually like obligating, and also I you know, I don't know. It's a vibe. If you're that vibe of a singer, if you're a singer that is like a powerhouse and just has like a beautiful voice and just wants to sing.
Yeah.
and like that's all you care about, then like I think that show's awesome for you. But if you're like more of a songwriter type, maybe more maybe less like pop oriented or something like that, then I don't think there's any reason for you to go on that show.
Did I ever tell you about when I tried out for American Idol?
No.
The lady in the interview, she was like, cool, so why do you think you're going to be the next American Idol? And I laughed at her, and I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
And she
That's
was
the
like,
best answer.
and she was like, why do you think that? And I was like, because someone else with a better voice is going to win it. And she was like, then why are you here? And I was like, I like to push myself and like try new things and see what happens. And
that's amazing.
I don't know, if you never tried, then you'll never know. And I was like, who tells you they're gonna win American Idol? And she was like, Connor, everyone. And I was like, no. And she was like, yeah, literally everyone who comes in here tells me why they think they're gonna win it. And I was like, that's ridiculous. That can't be true.
Oh my god. Yeah, no one's gonna win. One person.
Yeah,
only
like,
one
person's gonna win. It's not me. Have you heard me sing? It's not that
you
good.
do have a beautiful voice though, Connor.
Yeah, but like here's the thing. Put me against like 100 other wonderful singers. I'm not the best singer of them. You could put me in a group of like 200 mediocre singers and I'd be like, yeah, I'm probably not the best singer. Out of these 200 I would still be like, if you put me in front of a bunch of bad singers, I'd be like, yeah, I might be the best singer here. But like, it would need like I would need to listen to every single one of them and be like, oh, these are legitimately all these people are bad singers.
Yeah,
I think.
Well,
I'm the
that's
best
the thing is,
here.
I think they need it's a type. You know, I think you have to be a certain type of singer to excel at that show. Yeah. It's like you need that note. You know, you need that high note, or you need that like certain vibrato, or you know.
Have you seen?
It's a type.
Have you seen the movie Eurovision on Netflix?
I've never seen Eurovision.
Okay, well, it's on Netflix.
Oh, with Will Ferrell.
With Will Ferrell.
Oh, I thought that looked so funny. Actually,
it's out of this world funny. But they call that note you're talking about. They call it the Spjörg note.
Spjörg.
Yeah, the Spjörg note, and it's what like in Icelandic folklore, it's like this secret note that only happens like from your heart, and it's like incredibly high. It's super cute.
It's so funny. I thought that movie looked really funny.
It's one of the best things I've experienced during quarantine, and
I loved that. This is like super insider music stuff, but like I loved that on the cover they had back-to-back Nord keyboards.
Oh yeah,
because Nord is like are they Swedish or like Icelandic?
Are they?
They're like Nordic.
I mean,
Nord.
That would make sense. Yeah, I just figured because it was like those are just great keyboards. I just figured.
Well, yeah, they are great keyboards,
yeah.
Nord. But in case your mom wants to hook me up with the Nord.
Do you have any like a best gig story and a worst gig story you'd like to share?
I've had a lot of trashy bar incidents at
have you
cover
gotten in a
gigs. I've never gotten in a fight. I'm a very de-escalatory type of person.
Yeah.
I have had people want to maybe I've had ladies want to fight me.
Nice. Over what?
I had oh my god, dude, this is a horrible story. this might be my least favorite experience at a bar. I was at this bar in Boston. I'll shout them out. They're called Hennessy's. A bar called Hennessy's in Boston, and super. It's like downtown Boston, super kind of like drunk, like post college kind of vibe. And there's this yeah, you know me. Like maybe if you can't see me, I should explain. Extremely pale, very blonde, tall, skinny, small shoulders.
Yeah.
And so this lady was super drunk. She had like I think it was like near St. Patty's Day, but it wasn't St. Patrick's Day. And that's a big deal in Boston, obviously. And people just get shit faced for like a month straight. And so this lady like kept using her iPhone to type out requests, and she'd like hold them up to me, but she was only requesting songs by NWA.
How
like,
close was she to you? Like, how close was she getting to your face?
The stage is about 3 inches high, and there's no kind of divide.
Okay.
You're just right up on. So she's like leaning over. There's like a wall on the left. The stage is like maybe 10 feet wide.
Yeah.
Maybe like 8 or 9. It's not a large stage, but it's and then you're like 3 inches high, so you're right in everyone's face. It's not like it's a very intimate situation. And this lady was just leaning over, like big boobs, and they're falling everywhere, and she's got this like green St. Patty's shirt and like Irish necklace, and she's got oh, I love this. She had Bud Light Lime, in the metal bottle.
Yeah.
She had one in her hand and one stuck between her boobs.
Oh, jeez. What a visual.
She was there.
Was it capped?
She was lit.
The one between her boobs, was that capped?
No, it was open.
That was open.
Yeah, it was open.
Do you feel like it was empty, or do you feel like it was full?
I honestly, it could have been either one.
Oh, wow.
She could have been saving it for later, or she might have just finished
mystery.
it and trashed it there. Anyways, so she was trashed. I don't know. She could be a fine woman. She was very drunk.
Yeah.
And so she was like requesting songs, and it was like, can you do like this song that every other word is the N word? And I was like, oh, I tried to be funny to her. I was like, I went up to her ear. I was like, hey, just look at me. I can't sing that song. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. And then she was like visibly frustrated, and then got really mad, and then wrote another kind of song very similar. I forget what they were. They're big hits.
Yeah.
Big hits, but they were just like laced with the N word. Like that, I was like, I'm not doing this. And so then a couple of them, and then she gets really mad and is like writing like, oh, fuck you, like on her card. She wrote like,
that's
like,
so funny.
Like wrote on her phone.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what's the next song request?
Yeah, she was like, you guys suck. And then she wrote, you guys fucking suck. That's what she wrote. And then she erased that, and then put up on her phone, she goes, can you don't stop believing? And then, which I mean is like one of the most classic bar band songs, right?
But it's also like a pretty hard song to play.
It's the end of the night song. Yeah. You play it at the end of the night. And so, but she holds that request up, and she makes this face at me like, like, oh, well, can you, like, she just went from these like hard gangster rap songs to don't stop believing. Like she's joking, like making fun of us. And I was like, oh, we're not going to play that for you. And then she writes on her phone, she writes, you're a faggot.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, trigger warning for the word, but she wrote, this is what she said to me. She wrote, you're a fag on the phone.
Yeah.
And
which also, it's just like totally other dynamic that she's, rather than yelling these things at you, she's typing them out and then putting them really close to your face, so you're reading insults. But
I should say too, she was not even typing them. She's like finger drawing them on her phone. So it's like a sketch. I forgot to mention that. So she's like writing it, like drunkenly writing it. So her handwriting's bad. Yeah. And like, but it's like good enough I can read it. And so she does that, and all of this is happening like inches from each other. Yeah. Because we had a male lead singer, female lead singer. Yeah. So we would like trade off songs. And so I was dealing with this while she was singing a song. So this lady was just doing it.
Are you playing an instrument while this is happening?
No, I didn't have an instrument at the time. I was just
so you're just hanging out.
I was just hanging out. I was supposed to be singing background vocals, but I was like, doing some crowd work, like talking, trying to take a request from this lady, I thought. And then anyway, so she does that. And then I went up to there was a bouncer right next to me, and I was like, yo, this lady's crazy. Yeah,
this woman is verbally abusing me, but not verbally, just like textually, I guess.
Yeah. And I just kind of told him, I was like, keep your eye on her, like she's a little nuts. I didn't ask him to kick her or anything. And anyways, like 20 minutes later, I see her like from the back of the bar getting like walked to the front, like she's like a little crooked, like they're dragging her.
Yeah, jeez.
Two hands on her shoulders, like taking her out. And she's still got the Bud Light Lime in between her boobs and everything.
That's amazing.
That was a long story, but
I'm going to assume that the one between her breasts was empty. That's going to be my assumption.
Yeah, probably. I think every drink that came close to her probably got empty.
Yeah. Just due to like it didn't seem like she was worried about it spilling, so I'm gonna assume that one was empty, and then maybe she just like trades out. Like next time she goes by a trash can, she like puts both away.
Yeah.
That's great. So people ask me, they're just like, oh, would you be willing to do any gigs like during COVID? Like we'll like put you away from other people and you can like play music. And like when you're a musician at a bar or a winery or even at a coffee shop, like people get in your business. Like
they take it really seriously.
Yeah, like a lot of people think that I have no personal boundaries because I'm a musician, when in fact it's the exact opposite. I have so many personal boundaries. And which is also just why like COVID is not a good time for this. But like, whenever I tell stories like that, people are like, what? People like get that close to you and they're like hostile with you? I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. I don't get it.
Yeah. People get so aggressive. So aggressive. And they get really mad. If they make a request and you don't know the song, some people get really... They're like, you know this song.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I don't know that song. And
well,
they're like,
and
you
even
know
if
it.
you do know it, like, by, like, maybe you know all the words, but you don't know all the chords. And which is, like, I have to explain every time, be like, yeah, again, like, I could sing that song. I could try. All right, here I go. I don't know any of the chords, so I'll just sing it a cappella. Sitting in a smoky room. Sorry, this is honestly like the best I can do.
You're like, there's two parts to this.
Yeah. There's actually a lot that goes on.
Yeah.
I can like verbally do the guitar solo, but like that's not what you want, and I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes to like make people feel awkward, I will play the most like stripped down chord version that I possibly could, and then they'll realize like, oh, this actually isn't what I wanted. Just go ahead and do something that you do know how to do. I'm like, hey, thank you, I will.
Just do a bad job on purpose. You're like, here's a...
We are over an hour, but I wanted to ask you one last thing about influences. You, not on your website, but on this other person's website I mentioned.
Whose website were you at?
I'm trying to remember. It had like a nice like middle length hair picture of you, so it seemed like it was probably a while ago that you got on their site. But it mentioned the Staves, Randy Newman, Al Jarreau, Ben Folds, like these being like big influences of yours.
Yeah.
Are
this
there?
must have been a while ago.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I hate all those bands.
They're all people that I still love, but their influence has been reduced, maybe.
Yeah. Is there? Okay. So what's like one of the things that I think about a lot is like, what song am I listening to kind of on repeat right now? Like, what song am I trying to emulate? And for me, one of the songs I'm emulating is one of the songs from that Eurovision Will Ferrell movie.
Oh, really?
It's honestly, dude, it's such a good movie. They have a song at the end where she does hit the Spierg note, and the song is just beautiful, like all the way through. It has like a real like verse, pre-chorus, chorus 1, chorus 2, then like verse 2, pre-chorus, chorus 1, chorus 2.
Chorus 1 and 2.
And I love a double chorus now. I'm like obsessed with the concept. Yeah, so I'm like constantly listening to this song. It's called Husafik, which is where they're from.
Husafik.
Husafik, in parentheses, my home. So like, do you have an artist or a song that you're going back to that you're like mining a lot out of for your own content right now?
Since about a little after quarantine, I've started reaching backwards for music. I've been keeping up with some new music, but I've been reaching backwards a lot. Like I started listening to, at the beginning of quarantine, I started listening to a lot of like Bill Withers and Al Green and Van Morrison and people like that. And so I've definitely like had a lot of, I've been wanting a lot to just write like really groovy songs that just feel really good and sit in that pocket. So I don't know if I could point you to one song, but there's definitely like more of an element of like drums, and I've had this problem my whole musical life from when I was writing piano rock in high school to when I would do, more folky stuff, is I was always, the band never came in until the second verse.
Yeah. Yes.
This is something that because it's just kind of it's a dynamic level that I just got comfortable with. And,
I run into the same problem all the time.
Yeah. It's easy to get into that like thing. It's really hard to get out of it. I struggle with it a lot myself, but I've been trying to lately to write songs with the drums in mind.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
So like I've been trying to, I don't know if I could point you to one song, but I actually, that kind of like old soul vibe. I had started listening to a lot of Ray LaMontagne too, as a newer person. That's hugely influenced by those people.
Mm-hmm.
I love the song by him, We'll Make It Through. It's like a newer song. It's off his newest album, I think.
I haven't heard it.
It came out like a little into quarantine, a little after the coronavirus stuff started. And he recorded it all himself, and it's just acoustic guitars and harmony and harmonica and stuff. And lately so that's kind of translated into, I've started listening to a lot of Bob Dylan recently. I never really listened to Bob Dylan much in my life. And I took a road trip in the fall that I mentioned, and I started listening to, we listened to Bruce Springsteen's autobiography in audiobook format, which was the best thing I've ever done. It was honestly, it was so great.
What's it called?
It's called Born to Run.
Okay, makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like 3 books long. I think it was like 19 hours, 29 hours. No, 19 hours. It was 19 hours of audio.
That's decent.
And his story is just incredible, and the way he picks it apart and like talks about it. Anyway, so he started talking a lot about his influence from Bob Dylan, and then I started listening to Bob Dylan, and I wrote this song, and I recorded it with some harmonica, and I only had one harmonica, so I like pitch shifted it to be high enough for the song. And so anyways, I bought like this harmonica neck holder lately, and like a new harmonica in another key. So if there's something I'm trying to emulate lately, I guess it might be that song. One song I've been doing lately.
Yeah, Born to Run.
We'll Make It Through by Ray LaMontagne.
Okay.
I'm just right back to it. But also, honestly, Born to Run too. I'm trying to emulate that.
Born to Run with like a chill Born to Run with a harmonica might be tight. The
oh my god,
that might be pretty cool on a harmonica.
It exists, and it's called Thunder Road. That's so good. I love that song. Oh my god, it's so good. Honestly, you should listen to it. It's on the Born to Run album. It's the first track.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Do you wanna do one song and play us out?
Do you want me to play Thunder Road?
Dude, if you want to,
Or do you want me to play I should probably play a Cypress song, shouldn't I?
I mean, you can do whatever you want. You're the boss right now. If you want to play me Thunder Road, you're more than welcome to.
Was there another song you had in mind, or should I?
I mean, other than that, I love Canada, and I love. I mean, I haven't heard you play Books either, but I like that.
Books, right? When we were talking about songs that so I really like the recordings of Books. I feel still very proud of the production and stuff about that, but I've never really felt incredibly comfortable playing it live. It's never really sat in that.
Well, it has a lot of gang vocals, so I feel like you probably
gang
just like
vocals.
want that vibe.
Yeah. And there's drums the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like a finger picking thing, but then it's hard to get that weight when you do that. Since it isn't a song that I play all the time,
you got to pull up your own chords.
I'm pulling up lyrics.
Yeah, smart. I have a Google Drive that contains all of my lyrics with outdated song titles.
With outdated song titles?
Yeah.
Like just whatever you named it when you were writing it?
Names that make basically no sense years later.
I've been trying really hard to get all of that kind of stuff organized lately.
Yeah, I've started numbering them at the end, so that way I can track down the number based off the voice memo in my phone. So if it's like,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
You'll also know how many songs you've written.
Yes. So
I have no idea how many songs I've written.
Yeah, I'm on 205.
205. Wait, didn't you post something about that the other day? That you crossed 200?
I crossed 200, so I wrote a song to Randy Newman asking him to take me out to dinner and write a song with me.
You wrote a song to him?
I
love Randy Newman.
Yeah.
I saw him live one time years ago in Boston, and he was the most incredible. He played everything you wanted him to play. It was awesome. And but the whole time he was sat at the piano sideways, didn't look up one time. Yeah. But he told his stories so like in his own way and like enthusiastically and everything, but he was just in the exact same. He didn't move once.
He seems like such a curmudgeon, but that's kind of what I like about him.
That's like, what you love about him.
I like a stubborn old person. That's like, it has integrity for me.
It is. It has integrity. It does. That's the perfect way to describe it. Is there anything you want to know about this song, or
yeah, dude, tell me.
Should I just play it?
Why you love books? I mean, clearly, this is about Born to Run, the autobiography.
Yeah, this is about. I've never been a good reader since 8th grade. I read a ton when I was a kid, just like, and then all of the series that I was reading ended in the end of 8th grade, and then I just didn't stop reading. And then, so actually during quarantine, I've been trying to read, and I've read a few books at the beginning, but now I just can't. I have trouble sitting down. And
why don't you just do audiobooks?
I've been trying to do that more lately.
Okay.
But I've been trying to read poetry lately, because I've never read poetry.
Okay.
And just after listening to like Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan, like I watched a documentary on Bob Dylan too, and they just talk about like their favorite poets and things like that. And I was like, I don't have a favorite poet. I don't know any poetry.
Yeah, it makes you sound very mature to have a favorite poet.
Yeah. Yeah. They'd say these people, and I'm like, I know their name, but I have no idea what it means.
Yeah.
You know, so I've been trying to read some of that lately. And I like reading short stories because you can just kind of I'm all about easy goals.
Yeah.
You know, I can read 15 pages.
I'll send you some book recommendations.
Please
B.J. Novak has a really good book of comedic short stories.
Oh, really?
That I think, yeah. If you're down for just like short bursts of like a lot of wit and some good heartfelt moments, you'll enjoy.
I love that. I'm all kinds of down for that. That sounds incredible.
So books is about how you don't read.
It's more about chapters in life, I guess you could say.
Cool.
But it didn't really start from any one place. It was kind of a mumble song.
Okay.
And then I kind of picked some lyrics out of it and then shaped it into this was one of those songs that I was like, I really like this song, but it doesn't make a single ounce of sense.
Yeah. And
then I kind of like chiseled it into something.
Okay, cool. Go for it.
All right. Climb up the shelf, bring it on down. Still you're the one most tightly bound. Holding all of this in yourself must be killing you now. I wanna know what it is you can't get around. How could you bring him to his knees, breaking his heart on the walk home? Spilling out your verse on how you can't be relied on. Falling in love's a mistake you wish you never made, 'cause it took you from your home. But finally you're here, and now you're gone. Get up the courage, get up the stairs, get in your bed and go to sleep. I've learned that the feeling of a single day is impossible to keep. If you're wondering why I fought so hard for everyone to see, I finally understand that if I don't let go, then you won't let go of me. How could you bring him to his knees, breaking his heart on the walk home? Spilling out your verse on how you can't be relied on, or falling in love's a mistake you wish you never made, 'cause it took you from your home. But finally you're here, and now you're gone. Be careful who you love. If you still love someone else, don't start another book till the one you got is back up on the shelf. How could you bring him to his knees, breaking his heart on the walk home? Spilling out your verse on how you can't be relied on, or falling in love's a mistake you wish you never made, 'cause it took you from your home. And finally you're here. Finally you're here. Ooh, finally you're here. Now you're gone. Now you're gone.
Whoop whoop.
Thank you.
Sounds great, man.
It's been a while since I played that song.
Yeah, I'm pumped to hear that over the Logic version. Yeah, so if people want to find you, if people want to support you, how would they do so?
They could do so. They could follow me on Facebook or Instagram. Both of them are at Music by Cypress.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a website called musicbycypress.com. Musicbycypress.com.
Nice.
But yeah, they could follow me on Spotify, follow on Instagram, follow on Facebook. I post very regularly, at least once every week and a half.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's about what they could do.
Nice. Do you have any upcoming
Yeah.
projects people should be on the lookout for?
I do. I don't have dates to share with you or super great details, but I do have a song that's just about done that I'm trying to put out in the spring, which is coming up pretty soon. And I've been writing so much, honestly, the past few months, and I have a bunch of music that I'm just dying to like record and wrap up and
Cool.
put out. So I think this year is going to be several songs this year.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for hopping on the podcast. I will clap.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Of course. Do you want to clap once?
I will clap once.